Hi everyone. Um, here's just a quick update. Excuse me. Before my family and I go away for a little while. Um, so I thought I'd let you guys know how things are going. MJ and I are still working on stuff for good neighbor testing. Um, she's able to have. We haven't tried somebody like walking up towards us, and I know we should do this soon so I can like really get it under control if there's any problems before the test. But like we've been able to work on her jumping, and I took her downtown today, or no, yesterday, and she did really well. I thought she'd be like, you know, a really jumpy and bouncy and want to say hi to everybody, but no, she was really good. She just, stayed by my side and would sit at, the crosswalks and that kind of stuff, which really gave me a good, like, which boosted my confidence because, once I move into the city, which I'm hoping to do in the next little while, um, I can feel confident to take her out and not, be embarrassed to, go walk downtown with her and not have her be jumping on everybody. So anyway, that's good. And we've been working on a few other things that are on the test, I think, too. I just can't remember. But anyway, we've been doing really well. And yeah, we've been doing really well. Something that kind of, I guess, gets underneath my skin is when people are like, they think they know more than you, or they think because they've had more dogs than you, they are more experienced. I mean, and they could very well be in their own right, and I'm not saying that they aren't, that they're completely stupid or whatever, but I'm saying that, let me train my dog the way I want to train her, and don't, butt in. Like, the other day, like when I had her downtown, this woman randomly comes up to us and starts saying that the collar I use is inhumane when I can give her a really like hard correction on that collar. Maybe I'm just perceiving it as hard, and maybe it's just light to her, and she just kind of looks around like, "What was that?" And people ask, and and that's it. And this girl comes up to us and it's like, those are so inhumane. So I said, sit. And she sat, and I just hooked her onto her flat collar, and I said, here you go. You try walking a 50-pound dog, pulling you down the street on a flat collar, and see how you like it. See how you like trying to correct it. And she's like, oh, you never correct a dog. I'm like, so you're all positive, train. You think all positive is the way to go. It's like, oh, it's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. And if you think it's the only way to go, good for you. Um, MJ was all positive trained before I got her, and then I trained her. I just was like, I don't believe in all positive training because I feel that just like children, there has to be some sort of boundary telling you, okay, you can't, that's not appropriate to go and jump on somebody. And I just can't, like, I can't understand, like, make the connection of how do you do problem, like, how do you work with problem behaviors with, like, destructive chewing and that kind of stuff? If there's no punishment for the destructive chewing, or, the peeing in the house, or the chasing the cat, or, it took one good no and leave it, and George was or MJ was perfectly fine with leaving my cat alone. And George sticks up for herself anyway and makes it known that MJ isn't coming near her anyway. So we don't have any problems there, but like I don't see how it can work. And if you believe in that, all all power to you. Like, good for you. I believe in using some correction. Um, if she goes downstairs ahead of me, I say, get her back up here. And I sit her back down and I go down. Like, could somebody, tell me how would you deal with that in a positive situation? Like, how could you make that a positive thing? Like and I'm not trying to like criticize. I mean, well, obviously it sounds like I'm criticizing it, but like I'm trying to make it kind of apparent that it's a bit out there. I'm sorry if I'm offending somebody, but this is how I feel. Like I'm trying to, I'm trying to change that. Or no, I shouldn't say I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to make it, clear to people that, my method isn't completely barbaric. Like some people say, like my method is completely barbaric. And if you think my method is completely barbaric, then okay. But I can tell you I've never hit that dog. I never will hit that dog. Um, all it usually takes for her to get to be corrected, like it doesn't take a lot. Like like a quick snap on the leash, and a lot of the time in the house it's just an and she's like, if we have gates that we keep open without her open now because she learned how to jump them, so now we have to keep them open. Um, we so she knows she's not supposed to go through them first. We go through them first. We are ahead of pack. She's not. Um, so she goes through it first. I go and she'll stop and she'll come back through and wait for me to go through and then I'll say okay and she'll come through. And you know, I don't. I think I had to use an alternative correction, which is like, penny can or something like that. I think I've only had to use a penny can once, and that was outside because she was going in the garden, and I just kind of hucked it beside her, and it made a like loud crash, and she like thought it came from the garden and just like booked it out of the garden and has not gone back in the garden since. Um, if she goes to chase her ball in the garden, into the garden, if it rolls into the garden, because our grass space is limited because mom has so many gardens, or so much garden, like it pretty much wraps around the whole entire house. Um, but anyway, so she I'll say down, and she'll lay down right on the edge, and I'll go and get it. And that's usually all what it takes. And if there's other dogs around, like if we're going for walks, I can walk her off leash. I just say leave it, and she'll stay right beside me. If she sees an animal, I just have to say leave it. And if she goes a bit ahead of me, I just say here, and I point to my side, and she's back at my side. Like it's not like I'm wailing on this dog to like get results. And I think that's what some people perceive correction as, is it's, you beating the dog to bloody submission, which it isn't. It isn't at all. It's I give MJ a very fair chance to respond to my commands. If I say sit, I say 1,000, 1,000. If she's not if she has not sat by then, I usually correct her and repeat it. And she's so good now that I don't really have to do that anymore. There's the off chance where she's like off in la la land and I have to bring her back. But anyway, and so yeah, I think I was talking about this woman, and if I'm repeating myself, sorry, but I kind of got off on a tangent there. But I gave her the leash and I said, "Here, you try walking a 15-pound dog while she's chasing a uh, you know, uh, pigeon down the street." And so anyway, I said, and he said, so she says, okay, I can do that. So anyway, she goes and MJ sees a pigeon and I'm like end of the leash pulling this woman and she's like barely walking and I just like yelled after her. I said drop the leash and I went MJ come and she came and she like sat right beside me. And I picked up the leash and I put it back to the training collar and I said so what do you think about them now? And she says I still think they're barbaric. I was like okay whatever. Then don't come up to me like because I'm just gonna I'm one of those people who are going to stick up for myself. I'm not going to, let somebody pull me over. So anyway, and tonight, I don't know why it is like people are in competition with each other on here or something, or just think it's nice to tear somebody else down because they feel so bad about themselves. I don't know, but I was giving some helpful information to somebody, and someone else just comes and like tears my advice apart, saying it won't work, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, well, are you a dog trainer? And this is what I do for a living. Like, unless you have, more experience with, you know, dog behavior and dogs in general than I do, don't come up to me and say you and and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Yes, that stuff may have worked for my dog, but I know what works for mine, and I know what works for my clients. Because obviously, if they're coming back for session after session, I'm obviously doing something right, and I'm obviously seeing results. So don't be coming and tearing my stuff apart. Just be like, oh, okay, well, just take it as it was meant to be taken. It wasn't meant to be taken as criticism. It wasn't meant to be taken in any way other than a helpful advice. And I don't understand why people are so defensive and so willing to just tear someone to complete rat shit. Pardon my language, but like just I don't get it. I guess I never will. But anyway, I guess I ranted enough tonight. And I am going to, once I get a cheap kind of camera, to do videos on, since I'm only doing them from my webcam right now, and it's kind of hard to do ones with her from, my webcam. I'm gonna try and find a little inexpensive camera that I can use. So anyway, hopefully I'll be able to update before we leave. If not, I'll let you guys know if we passed the good neighbor test or not. Okay, bye.